let's talk about the aftermath of permissive parenting. What are the 3 devastating ways permissive parenting shapes your kid's future? On my last video, we talked about the meaning of permissive parenting, the top characteristics of this particular parenting style. So in case you missed it, the link is going to be on the screen somewhere, and let's dive in. Just a few quick examples of permissive parenting. The child decides when it's time to go to sleep. They have unlimited screen time, or maybe the TV is always rolling in the background. They have the freedom to go into the kitchen and grab whatever they want to eat whenever they want to eat. If they want a specific toy, they scream until they get it, until you buy it for them at the store, among other examples. There are several other parenting styles, of course, and each of them shape your kid's future in a different way. It shapes your kid's behavior, emotional well-being, and social development. And I'll be talking more about those other parenting styles in future videos. Let me know in the comments what is your preferred parenting style with your own kids. So let's break it down. Based on a lot of research that I've done, following a lot of psychologists, reading books, articles, these are the 3 most devastating, in my opinion, effects of permissive parenting on children. Number 1, the inability to have self-discipline. Because they were never really taught firm boundaries growing up, consistent rules, expectations, the child finds it hard to control and manage their own impulses and their own emotions. They also find it very challenging to respect authority or, let's say, follow social norms, which consequently leads to behavioral issues, especially in school where structure is very much reinforced. They have more rigid rules as opposed to a permissive household. Number 2, poor self-regulation. Because permissive parents normally avoid setting boundaries, in my opinion, is deep inside, they're doing the best they can, obviously, but they have this inherent fear that their kid is not going to love them anymore or like them anymore if they don't cave and give in to their demands or wishes. So they avoid setting consequences. They avoid following through with the consequences. And those kids don't really know how to delay gratification, or they don't know how to deal with feeling frustrated or disappointed, which obviously results in impulsive behavior, bad behavior, when they act up to try to get what they want, when they want it, and without really considering the consequences that come with that. These children, sadly, they find it very difficult to control their emotions. So when they don't know how to regulate their own emotions long term, that has devastating effects for their future, obviously, in their personal relationships, in school, college, one day, at a workplace environment. Number 3, a sense of entitlement. Permissive parents, they have pretty much a hard time saying no. And that's normal, like we all do. We don't necessarily need to be permissive to feel that struggle inside of us of having to say no to our child. I've already experienced that with my own kids. When you see their little puppy eyes and crying when they want something and you can't give it to them. It's okay. It's okay to struggle. But the permissive line is crossed the moment you never or hardly ever say no, or you initially say no and then end up changing to yes and caving to your kid's demands. Permissive parents that have a hard time with that, they normally want to avoid confrontation and tantrums at all costs. So in order to keep their kid happy and entertained, they frequently, that's the key word here, frequently give in to their child's wishes and demands and wants and needs. And sadly, that's when the child's sense of entitlement is nurtured and reinforced. So the absence of structure In a permissive household, compromises the child's ability to set goals and work hard to achieve those goals, which will definitely have a long lasting effect down the road in their lives. It's going to affect all areas of their lives if you think about it. Long-term success in their relationships, workplace, academics. So that's why it's so important for us, all of us, to create this awareness and gather all the facts of all the other types of parenting style that we read about, that we hear about, and think, reflect on it in order to make an informed decision as to what kind of parenting style path each one of us would like to follow. Because this is your kid's future that we're talking about, and the family future. However way your kid turns up in their adult life, it will definitely affect the entire family. And I totally understand where permissive parents are coming from. Sometimes it's that feeling that you get when you've had a very rough childhood and your parents were too strict, your house was full of rules and too much structure, too many boundaries to follow, and not enough warmth and love. So what ends up happening is we end up going to a complete opposite direction, which is the permissive parenting approach that focuses a lot on warmth and loving and responsiveness, but very little on demands. I will say that the one thing that I really love, that I think it's very positive about permissive parenting, is the warm and nurturing side of it. Because obviously, if you give your kid love and nurture and support and responsiveness, they are going to feel loved and appreciated, and they're going to have a good, strong, structural emotional support, right? But all of that without the balance of boundaries, structure, responsibility doesn't really help, in my opinion. It becomes unbalanced. That's why it's my belief that we should all aim to provide our kids with a balanced environment that promotes emotional support as well as responsible behavior. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.